Okay, so we're live now. We're live, we're live, we're live, we're live, we're live, we're live. Hello, good afternoon, good evening. Depending on what part of the world you're joining us from, my name is Brenda Onu. I'm super excited to have you here today. And with me live is Mommy, you were fine where you were before. I don't know why you decided to change. You were fine, the light was perfect, and I told you you were perfect, but it's okay. We can continue from here. Okay, so yeah, good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of your favorite program, Women's Matters. And in celebration of Women's Month, we are having the theme of Women's Month is Give to Gain. And when we had our Women's Day celebration, we had a lot of conversation, and it was quite robust. And what we found out that when everybody was sharing about what they had learned, in respect to the theme, we realized that the older generation has a lot to share with us younger women. And so we decided to feature older women talking to the younger generation in a series of lessons to their younger selves and to the younger generation on what matters most to them. So last week we had a fabulous grandma on set, and this week we have another fabulous grandma who incidentally is my own mother. And so we're super happy and super excited. If you are here, if you can hear us and see us in the chat, make some noise, make some noise, make some noise. Send us your emojis, send us some fire emojis. Let us know you are there and we can see you and you can hear us. Thank you for joining, and we are super excited to have you here today. So for my special guest, my own mother, drum roll, somebody. Okay, I'm seeing all the emojis. Well done, well done, well done. Thank you so much. So as we do on the show, we don't need to introduce people. You have to introduce your own self, right? And I know that this is not strange to you. It's a toot your horn session. Like, you literally can tell us anything about yourself, from your local government area to when you were born, whatever you want to do. It's literally a time to toot your horn. So please go ahead and introduce yourself to us so that we can get started. Thank you.
Good evening, Coach, and the entire house. I am Mrs. Bridget Bosede Erelune Imokhai.
The
Ni
government's name, I love it.
Modigwe. Ni Modigwe.
Welcome.
I was
Welcome,
born
Mama.
in Lagos, in Ebute Metta.
Mhm.
I grew up in Lawansin and spent some of my married life in Festac. Oh, what lovely days those were. I worked lastly, in Nestle Foods as a personnel officer before we moved to Benin. I entered fully into business. Today, I'm a CEO of Usime Ventures Limited. We make Kabi Foods unripe plantain flour, Kabi Foods beans flour, and Kabi Foods pepper soup spices. We supply
And if you know,
supermarkets.
you know.
We supply supermarkets. We export. We want to go into full exports. I am not tired. I am only just starting because I am
I love it.
flying on the wings of the eagle's wing in spirits. Good evening,
I
all.
love it. Good evening, Mama. We love it. We love it. We love it. That is a grandmama on the call right now, and she's telling you about her business, telling you about all the things that she has done and that she keeps on doing. So we're so excited to have you here today, Mama. And even all the comments are already coming in. Good evening, Grandma. We love to have our evergreen, beautiful Grandma. Welcome, Grandma. And everybody's happy and excited to have you here today. So let's get right into it because I know we have a lot to learn from you today. So our topic today is, it's a series we've been doing, like I introduced at the beginning, that it's a series we're doing in honor of the International Women's Month, and we're honoring the theme of the month, which says give to gain. So basically, we're thinking that, okay, what can women give for others to gain? And that's how we came up with this series, which is lessons to the younger generation. And your own topic today is motherhood is a calling. So we just want you to walk us through your motherhood journey. I mean, we're reading the profile. They said that you are a mother to 5, a grandmother to 11. We're like, and you have almost 50 years experience in motherhood. So if somebody wants to tell us about motherhood being a calling, I think you are the person for us. Where's my notepad and my pen? Because this matter requires, some taking of notes. So please, where do you want to start this conversation from? You know how we do it here. I mean, I'm just here as a moderator. You're here to teach us, and we're literally here to learn. So take it away from anywhere you'd like to start from. Thank you, ma'am.
Motherhood is the biggest gift God gave me. When I got married, it was thought that I may not have children. So
Oh, wow.
I pierced heaven, and my mother bruised her knees. And for that reason, I had 3 children in 30 months.
Okay,
before
now.
the other 2 came along.
Wait, who first thought that you would not have children? I'm trying to understand. Was that a medical diagnosis?
No medical. You know, when we got married in January, I only took in late March. Before then, they'd be asking, she's not yet pregnant, she's not yet pregnant. So
March.
because of those questions, in only 3 months. So my mother, a prayer warrior, we pierced heaven with prayer. And in 30 months, we had 3 children. Hence, our first 3 children look like triplets.
Wahala.
Then,
you see, be careful what you pray for.
be careful what you pray for. Be careful what you pray for. So, motherhood has been so beautiful because my first food, Cynthia, a medical doctor, she made life so easy. She's been a mini me from day one, followed by a boy, engineer Christopher, then architect Brenda. Before we had the other 2, Antonia Imokhai, who read microbiology, and the last one, the star girl, Bridget Imokhai. I call her the star girl because she's been with me all through thick and thin. That's my mini me. So these children made us so proud because we attended a birthday party when my son was 10 years old. And they said, "Do you know the Imokhais?" He said, "You know those children that are always taking first?" And I never knew. My head nearly burst. I didn't know it was just the beginning. Then when the children entered secondary school, on open day, we went through my first daughter's book and they were saying, "Oh, no problem." In less than 10 minutes, I had gone through all the teachers. And there it was then I knew the gift I have. So I taught the children to pray. They know. We pray in the morning. We pray in the evening. My children know that the rosary is our weapon of warfare. And I taught my children that nothing you can achieve without prayer. And by the time they got to marriage age, I also told them that my children must be career-minded. Nothing in this world should make you stop working. So they have made me proud. It's been joy, joy, joy all the way. I have had very good friends who have been destiny helpers. And I will, at this juncture, mention Mosun Sule. She was SSS State Director in 1999, Lagos State. That's the senior that I never had. She led me and made me better because we all need helpers. You know, you must have somebody you confide in and somebody who love you as much as you love yourself. And one thing I must tell you is love yourself, trust yourself, and never ever be very sensitive. Watch body language, watch what is said, watch people who are happy when you are down, watch people who don't want to see you fall. These are the secrets of life, the secrets of motherhood. You must be very, very spiritual and very, very sensitive. It is very essential. You don't just, it should not be an all-comers game. You select your friends. You know those you trust. Incidentally, when I got married, my friendship was only with married women just before I got married. Mrs. Damonle, Mrs. Rose AK, Mrs. Rita AK, then Mrs. Tinubu. They were my friends. And these women were married for over 10, 15 years. They are the friends. Do you know what I do? I go to their houses, I see their mistakes, I write down. Most of my life experiences are through learning the mistakes other people made, to making sure I do not fall into those mistakes.
I have to pause you here. In fact, I have to jump in at this point. And ladies, I think as you're listening, right, I'm trying to jot out the gems of what she's saying. But there's something she said that I first wanted to jump in on, but I was just like, okay, let me, Brenda, be coming up. You know, she talks about having a good support system. She's a first daughter herself. Maybe she didn't mention that. And now she's talked about having a senior sister that she could confide in. That is a woman who she met as a friend, but became the senior sister that she never had. And she went on to say how she had friends in older married women whose houses she would go to and learn their mistakes. This was literally mentorship, right? It was just not called so. She was literally riding on mentorship, because when you see people who have walked the path before you, they would have seen the mistakes they've made, and you will come and you take all their learnings and you are flying. So you don't have to spend your own 10 years learning what works. You can learn what works in the first year and run with it. I just wanted to throw that out here because in the spirit of give to gain, that was one powerful thing that worked in her own motherhood that she's sharing with us, that she had older women who had older children already married as her friends. And so she was learning from them. I wanted to point that out in case you did not catch it. Oh yeah, mommy, please continue. That was powerful
So I
stuff, man.
started working in Nestle Foods. And when I started working there, those were the 8 days when money had value. When you could hold 1,000 naira in your pigeonhole and spend for a whole month. I think that time, fuel was 4,000, 4 naira a liter. So me and my friends, we have a way of letting us think. I had these 4 friends. We were very close. And we know that we cannot allow the tension of life to hold you down. So we always let out steam by going together in one car to attend a party. When we are attending the party, we go in one car. Our children will be together in one house with 1 or 2 house girls looking after them. Then we go to
I
this
love it.
party. Not evening party, daytime party. But we really need to let down here. When we saw the children were growing, we started with attending beaches. We go to Badagry Beach, what do you call the other beach in Lagos Island? Eco Beach.
Babish.
We go to all those places monthly. And when we are coming, each of the 4, I had only 4 families, so not for everybody. Those 4 families, we bring what they want. We'll come with the children's swimming suit and our own beach wear, which people now wear on the road.
Yes.
People don't know beach wear from what you should not wear on the road. So that was how we were doing
Mommy
it.
has to put that in. Shots fired. I need to jump in there. See, I need to be picking out the lessons in case you people are not really getting what we are saying here, people of God. Mom just talked about having a circle of friends. Do you see? And she had a circle of friends whom they would go out to let out steam. Every day we talk about wellness. We talk about, recharging, refueling, right? The other day I was out with my friends and, we shared and everybody was like, oh, wow, I wish I could. As far back as 1980, mommy was already refueling, recharging with her circle of friends. Do you see? You have to be intentional about this because motherhood will take out of you. She had 5 children. Somebody has 4. Somebody has children are plenty. You must feel it. Imagine 3 children in 30 months. That means she had toddlers all over the place. So you have to intentionally refuel, intentionally recharge, intentionally go out somewhere. And you saw how they made it work, right? They would all come together, put all the kids in one place to be looked after, and they'll take off in one car. They are saving money. They are having company together. They are also having somebody watch their children, make sure that the children are safe. This was intentional bonding, intentional parenting, and intentional relaxation and refueling. Mommy, please continue. I'm loving it.
Then we went on. When it got to the children reaching common entrance age, I got Mr. Tandon, a Ghanaian teacher, who was teaching my children inside the house. But because these children were always excelling, other parents wanted to steal Mr. Tandon from me. Do you know what I do? I double his salary every year. So in short, I bought him at the labor market. So they had to appeal to me. So we had to move the lesson from our sitting room to the backyard. All the children that attended that lesson, they are great men and women today.
So I mean, so that was like you saying, okay, I found a good teacher. How do I keep this teacher so that he can help not only my one child, all the other ones coming behind? Because Mr. Tando taught all of us from the first to the last, and we're able to maintain that season of excellence. Ladies, are you even learning? Oh God, please continue, mom. I won't even don't allow me to interrupt again. Please go on.
So by the time the children, one thing you must do, especially those of you who have girls, you must teach them confidence. How do you teach your your daughters confidence? By making them dress well. You dress them to the kids. And when the children were in Queen's College, you remember when my first two daughters were in Queen's College, of course, it is time to show off. You really need to appear in a way your children will be proud of you. So we continued. Let me tell you a secret. I got bored with career and I decided I wanted to go on my own. So we left Lagos, we came to Benin. Do you know why I came to Benin? Because my first two children entered the University of Benin. One to read medicine, the other one to read engineering. And my mother said, whoever goes with children to school, I said, I am starting it. I do not want stories. I want to be close to my children. So in short, we attended school together until Brenda went to Ekoma. The fourth one, Antonia, still entered Uniben. Then my first daughter said, Mommy, the thing Federal University is doing is not okay. So this last child has to go to a private university. I said, these children are testing me beyond my power. So she entered private university, Madonna University. We started paying 50,000. My daughter was paying 50,000. You will not believe that by the time she was leaving, we were paying, was it 350,000 or 500,000? We will not ask where the money came from. It was prayer. It was prayer. Because with God, I taught my children that with God, nothing is impossible. So, of course, they all
Some
excel.
serious stuff. I wanted to ask, when you talk about, universities and everything, how did your parenting change from when the kids were smaller? There was something you were saying, and I don't know why you jumped over that fact very quickly. Let's backtrack a little. You said that especially for those of us that have girls, that it's important to give your girls confidence, and that part of how we give our girls confidence is making them dress properly. Let's talk about this dress properly for a bit. You see, nowadays, the kind of things that people call dress properly is a little bit concerning. So when we were younger, my mom would dress us up, like we'd have these clothes with matching hair pieces and all of those things. As in, it was a thing to look out for us on Sundays. So I remember when I first had my kids, and I had two girls first, I would dress them in the same way that I saw my mother dress us, right? And I didn't want girls, I wanted only boys. So when I first had the first girl, like, okay, no problem. I was dressing her, I was so excited. And the second one came out like, hey, I said I wanted only boys. Why am I having second girl? My mother said, God can see that you know how to take care of girls. That's why it's like, oh yeah, bring that. I said, okay, God, I don't know how to take care of girls again. Please give me a boy. But it was just a running joke between us. But I remember us dressing well to church on Sunday. So it was important, really important for us to dress, for me to dress my girls in the same way, So I can see how you can see how, I mean, look at me now. If you're looking for how to talk about confidence, hello. The fruit is there right on your screen. So, mommy, please continue.
So, talking about dressing, our day-to-day clothes has to be matched with a ribbon. If they are wearing blue, it must be a ribbon on their head. They are going to school, they have a ribbon that they tie along with their head. And my boy was not left alone. We were buying him. There was a tailor in, what do they call that area? Near former fella house. There was one big tailor that was sewing for big men. That's where we were sewing my son's clothes. As a matter of fact, you couldn't see my children without turning your head. And initially, I wasn't dressing well because I was just, like I told you, motherhood is the best thing that happened to me. So I wasn't dressing well until we went to church one Sunday, and one woman said, "Who is their mother?" And they pointed to me, because I don't have much flesh. The woman said, "She can't be their mother." Since that day, I started making sure I dress.
You have to match up with the kids because
they
they don't call you nanny.
Make them not say I've been nanny. So that was about for me. So because of that dressing well, the children had lots and lots of confidence. And they know that I always and because they know how to pray too, you don't live one part of life. Oh. You must know how to pray, how to pierce heaven. You must know how to take life serious and be the best in whatever you do. And you must know how to be humble and very respectful. My children know one thing. I have not asked you to quarrel with anybody that is quarreling with me. Show respect to anybody you meet. Leave my battles. I can fight them by myself. So it's very essential. Those mothers who think because this uncle is not nice to you, your children should join you. Please, we do not know where we are going to. Fight your battles and leave your children out of your battles. It's very essential. So that being said, when we moved to Benin and I was doing business, it was okay. Everything was going smoothly. My daughter now went to Epoma. Do you know, I will tell you the secret of that Epoma because I'm a real no mama. I didn't want her to read architecture. I wanted her to read engineering. I know the DVC, I know the VC, I know everybody in Unibet, and including my husband. But you know, the first batch came, they didn't take her. The second batch came, they didn't take her. The third batch, they didn't. I say, hey. So we started facing Epoma. My husband knows a lot of people in AAU. So when we got there, do you know what the man asked me? He said, Madam, what did your daughter tell you she wants to read? That's the beginning of the story of architecture. That was how she entered architecture. And then she got in there. Of course, she made us proud. And we thank God. It was now time for them to get married. Be intentional about everything. No. Don't say your daughter brought one person. Do you know how many people I told them no way? She will tell you. Cynthia came with somebody, I said no way. Brenda came, I said no way. Because once I see you with a boy, I told you, my girls do not stand on the road with a boy. If you like my girls, come into this room. I have my altar of secret heart inside the room. My house is a domestic church. If you are worthy, you will be accepted. If you are not worthy, you will even be the one to run. So I went with them, even in choosing their partners. You will not believe it. Because I haven't driven almost everybody. How many suitors did I drive for my first daughter? It's not up to 2 or 3. Before this one, she now got married to. I said, don't worry, daughter. He looks good. Let's try him. So that one went. And when it was Lady Brenda's turn, she said, do you know that? Because Tony, we've known Tony all through her Ekpoma life. He passes through our house like he's one of us. He now told me, Mommy, do you know that Tony said he likes me? I said, is he your brother? That was how the matter started. I'm telling you that I am so intentional that even their relationship matters to me. Even the Brenda and the Bridget that later got married to the evil boy, they were working together in faith. Of course, now I'm involved spiritually, physically, socially. And if I don't want you, you will know when you come to the house. But if I want you, of course, it's red carpet treatment. And when you come to the boy or girl, I will put that name on my altar. You are screened spiritually.
For that.
You must
That
be intentional.
altar screening.
100% in what you want your children to be. In marriage, in career, spiritually, everything. I can sleep now because I know they are in safe hands. I have taught them what they ought to do. And they know what they ought to do. Of course, everything went smoothly. You know, the country was very good because with very little work, you have plenty money all around you. Not now that you do 3 or 4 jobs, you can't see money. In those days, I'm saying, you make money. When I went into business, the professors in Uniben were earning 6,000. I was making a profit of almost 3,000 naira daily. You will not believe it. Because if you work hard in those days, you make money. So I was able to make sure I mentor my children. I make sure that they are my priority. I have one law. My children do not wear what I do not buy. No way. You cannot come to my house with blouse and trouser that I didn't buy. It's not true. It's not possible now. I will follow you to the place we are buying. You will point out what you want. But what I did not buy, you cannot wear. Especially my girls. So you
Yeah.
must be intentional
Tell us a little
all
bit
the way.
about that. Why did you have that rule? Why
I was born
what
in
was
Lagos.
going through your mind?
I was born in Lagos. I grew up in Lagos, and I know it takes very little for you to derail.
Mm.
It takes very, very little for a child to derail. Not because the child wants to derail. So I was a mother hen because I grew up in Lagos. Because I saw my friends make mistakes. Like I told you, I'm a very fast learner. I cannot make mistakes. I learn from your own mistake and I withdraw. I have always been like that. So
You
when the
used to
children
say,
started confused, my first granddaughter, I went for Mugo for 6 months. I came back home to change my clothes. I went for the second 6 months for one solid year.
to say 6 months. How? Please, man. Please don't lie. Thank God. Thank you for adding that part because like 6 months, wow. Please, that was a year Omugo.
I'm a businesswoman now. I can stop work. It's not a big deal. So when
That was
she
a whole
gave birth
year,
to her
man.
first child, I was with her for 6 months. She's there. I'm sure she's online. I only came home to change clothes and I went back. So I
Mm,
nurtured that child for
absolutely.
one solid year.
Mm, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, so
So
tell us, how does motherhood change as the children grow? Because I know a lot of the young women that are watching now, they are presently in the stage where their children are young. Some have children as young as 3, 4, some have children maybe 10, 12, some have in their teens. And they're looking at them and thinking, "Ah, these children are stressing me. This wala is a lot too. When does this thing end?" You're almost thinking, "Shebi this child cannot get to 18, let me rest." Is there really an end date for this motherhood? Or what really
no,
happens? How are we supposed
there
to
is
look
no
forward to?
end. I told you when they were in primary school, I had a lesson teacher. Do you know what
Mm,
they call me in Nestle? 4:30 manager. Because once it is 4:30, I move. I had
mm,
already planned it. I was a soft life mama. I had a
mm,
pounding machine. I had two freezers. I had a washing machine because as you are seeing me, I don't like stress.
mhm,
It's always been sweet life. So on weekends, we would go and buy, and when it's end of the month, we buy our chicken, a carton, we buy our fish, a carton, we put inside the freezers. We buy our tomatoes, a basket, we buy our bag of rice, we buy everything once a month. I hate market, goodness gracious. Why should I be parading market? Once a month is okay. We just go to
mm,
the market, we buy everything we stock. So the children, while growing up, they knew how to cook. We
mm,
taught them a lot about how to cook. And then my children didn't like Eba because I don't like Eba. So when my first
mm.
daughter was in Queen's College, when they make Eba, she will not eat. They make beans, she will not eat. What other thing do they make? And I said, call the mother to come and tell us what this child knows how to eat. Of course, I didn't go now. Do I like shame? It was my husband that went. So when they came in holiday, they started sitting down together to eat. I'm trying to talk about bonding with your children. If you do not bond with your children in primary school, you can't bond with them in secondary school. You must bond with your children, you must bond with them in secondary school. I had
In
that my
primary
friend
school.
that I told you, she was very close to me. And when I go to her house in my blue bed, I have my children in my car. Do you know what they used to say then in Festa? Say, did you see
Mm,
Bridget? They'll say, did you see Bridget's blue bed? They'll say, oh yeah, describe it. If there are no children in that car, then it is not her. Because as soon as I land, when the lesson teacher finished teaching them, they enter the car. We go for evening mass. And if it's weekend, we go out. Along the line, we even have to enter a Papa Club where they go and
mm,
relax. We even went for Milo tennis clinic. All those things we were doing with them. My children can't leave my house that they are going to play with a neighbor. And like I told you, I'm a mother. My children don't play outside my house. They play with me, you know. And while doing all this bonding with my children, I was also bonding with my husband. Because if you do not bond with your husband, you bond with only your children. Sorry for you.
See,
My
let's sit on
children
that
go
one
to
for a
bed
bit.
at 8:30. They go to bed at
Mhm,
8:30. I got my me time with my honey. I think that's what we call each other.
mhm,
So do you know, you will not believe it that we will now go out, we'll go and buy suya, or we'll go and buy suya, we'll now come to the house. We will now be drinking. I love to drink stouts. We sit
mm,
down for good wine. Along the line, it was not enough for us. We had to start having friends coming. We call it candlelight dinner. When I went to London, I bought this candlelight that had blue, red, and yellow. So we've only called 4 or 5 friends. The children have gone to bed since 8:30. My dear, life was good. You have to be intentional in everything. You bond with the children, you bond with your husband. You make your marriage, make people want to marry. It's not that you are not having friction, so, or you will not let the world see it. We had a style, me and my husband, even if we are quarreling, and you knock our gates, we will shield that quarrel. We will welcome you together, we will laugh with you together. We may not pick it up. Because we were told on our wedding night that we must not quarrel. What we quarreled last night must not be repeated in the morning. You must work on your marriage. You must pray for your marriage. You must pray for your husband. You must pray with your children. And you must make sure that people know your intention. My friends know. You cannot see my husband with an opposite sex and come and tell me. They know. I told them, if I see your husband with somebody, I will not tell you. You see my husband with somebody, do not tell me, because I didn't send you. So it's very essential that you trust your husband, because no trust, no relationship. No matter what they say, you do not believe what the world is saying. You must learn to defend your marriage for the sake of the fruits of the marriage.
What you said here about, bonding with your children and also being intentional about bonding with your husband. And I saw, and you gave us practical tips on how you did that. For example, we used to go to bed at 8:30. I remember that 8:30 bedtime was so stressful because the programs on TV were between 8 and 9. So 8:30 was smack in the middle of the program. Like, hello, Kuku sent us to bed at 8. Which one is 8:30? You watch half of a program and cannot watch the rest. It was so painful. But guess what? That was the beginning of my writing. Because when we would go to bed, at that 8:30, we all sit up. Of course, we're not sleeping. We're still charged up by the whole TV that we're watching or something. And then we start to ask ourselves, what do you think happened in that program? You start to say, okay, finish up the end. So I would use my imagination to finish it up for them. And then the next night when we go to bed, they're asking me, okay, where did I stop in that story? Sometimes I will form a whole, those programs were weekly. So it's not like you had the same program the next day. So I would form that story for the whole week until we get a chance to watch again. And so they would ask me every night, where did you stop? Where did you stop? Where did you stop? And that's how my imagination grew. And I was able to become a writer. So 8:30 bedtime, I don't even begrudge you for it anymore. I'm literally thanking you for it. But now I see another side to that 8:30. At the time, we didn't know that's what it was about. But now that you're pointing it out, it makes sense, right? So go to bed, send your children to bed early so that you have time to bond with your husband. You cannot be holding children on your head morning to night. Children have a bedtime. They should have a bedtime, a strict bedtime, and they should go to bed. When they go to bed, you can now sit down with your husband and bond because you are the two in the marriage. Because I mean, right now you're an empty nester. If you did not build that bond, how would you be able to stay? This is when you start hearing, I'm going to Mugo for 1 year and 2 years and 15 years. I mean, you did it 1 year, but that was the last time. She never tried it again. She had 11 grandchildren. It was only that first one that was shocking her. She didn't do that 1 year business anymore. She can tell you by herself. Okay. Oh,
So,
thank you so much.
my dear, so it's very essential that motherhood is skill. Motherhood is something you don't joke with. Even when you get married, you don't rest. So you listen to what they are saying, you take it to God in prayer. You get them, give them spiritual messages. You love your I love my grandchildren much more than I love my children. You know what my grandchildren call me? Grandma champion. Because they are never wrong. Oh. No matter what you say, my grandchildren are never wrong. I have a way around it. Because I don't get annoyed with my grandchildren. And no one beats my grandchildren. No, it's not. We discuss. I discuss, maybe because of my HR background. We talk. When we talk about it, they will listen. And they know that when grandma says it, it's true. I heard my first granddaughter telling the sister never to be caught on fresh. I said, she has put it in words, so we never use those words. So my first granddaughter, when I heard her say never to be
Yes,
caught on fresh,
absolutely.
this Gen Z, they have come.
They have a way with, they have words for everything. The things that we are thinking, they have words for everything. I love it. And
So,
these are the things that we
that we
have
are
to,
empty nesters. You know the next stage? The next
Mm,
stage is to make marriage look beautiful. And that
mm,
next stage of making marriage beautiful, every Sunday, any church we enter, heads must come.
mm,
Because we're either wearing matching outfits or matching colors. You
mm.
know, we are intentional about it.
That's
When
you
you
and your husband now.
Yes, now that we are empty
Okay.
nesters, we have
Oh,
to
okay.
show marriage, these newly married people that you are a couple, and God
Mm,
that made you couple is not because of the children; it's because of the two of you. Now that you are
mm,
empty, show the world that marriage is beautiful.
mm. I love it.
Mhm.
I love it. I mean, and that is really interesting. You see, this my mom, she was telling people how they don't used to beat her grandchildren. That you have to this, you have to that. She's even using her mouth to tell us on international live TV that she loves her grandchildren more than her children. And we are here. Oh. It's okay. There's no problem. She be me, I will still have my own grandchildren. No wahala. There's no wahala at all. No, we cannot even fight. No problem. Mom, tell us about maybe some family traditions that you had that you're able to, create with the family and things that you're able to help, because your children went to boarding school, like you had children who went to boarding school, some didn't go to boarding school, some went to school from home. How do you get them involved in the family? How do you pass on your values and all the things that you do? What are the family traditions that you're able to build that enable children want to come back home whenever they were away? Can you share some of those with us?
Yes, my mother taught us bonding. My mother taught me how to care for my senior brother's children, just like I care for my own. And for my junior
Okay.
sister children, just like I care for my own. And that has helped a lot. So I make sure I have favorites among my children, but they do not know my favorite. They don't. You see that my baby I told you, she's the one we even quarrel most. Because there's something that one cannot tell. You know?
Yeah. She was saying just now that when you were talking about Omugo, she said by the time you got to her turn, it had reduced to 3 weeks.
He told you that.
Oh my days.
So
Okay.
motherhood is a beautiful thing. That's why I pray that every mother should have a child. Because
Amen.
something develops in you when you have a child. And even if you don't have a child, I think I know where my motherhood instinct came from. Not from my mother. It is because I love children. Oh my God. Even before I started having children, I would carry people's children. When I come back from work, when I was still a single person, all the children in the neighborhood will gather around. I will have bought them popcorn and all that. So when I got married, a Monday after I got married, they came to the house. Where is Auntie Boss? Where is Auntie Boss? My mother said she has gone to her husband's house. Then I go to her house. So I have always loved children. Now, I still have what I call Association of Grandma's Friends in the church. Because I have
Oh
these
wow.
little children born with me. I love children, not just mine. I love every child. And I will
Mm,
challenge you. If I see you beating your child, I can park my car and ask you why you are beating that child. If I'm buying tomatoes
mm,
in the market, the child is crying and the mother ignores, I'll say, Mama, what is the problem? The child is crying. Say, leave. I say, no, you won't leave her. So my motherhood is not just for my children. I care. I like to
mm.
see them happy. And you will know it's not until
Yeah.
you have children that you will be a good mother. You must learn with other
Mm,
people's children. Incidentally, my father died there. So our last born was 3 weeks old when our father died. So she was my first child, actually. You know,
mm,
Dr. Clara. Now she's with Admiralty University. So when I was nursing that child, when I was nurturing her, you dare not touch her. She cries that somebody touch her, you will beat me along with her. Maybe that is the reason why I wouldn't then mix with neighbors. because I learned that from her. So being a good mother, it's not just loving your children. You must love everyone come across. You must see that crying child on the way and be able to console the child. It's a good thing. There's nothing partial about it. And
Yes.
no matter how you look at it, they have a Yoruba adage that it's only one person that will give birth to a child, but it's the whole world that will train the child. Incidentally, when we're growing up, if any of your neighbors see you talking to the opposite sex, they will use cane to beat you to your mother. And they will now tell your mother where I saw you. Things were because in Lagos,
That's how we say it takes a village.
no, not village. In Lagos,
No, I'm
people
saying
start.
the saying nowadays is that it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah,
You know,
take a village
it's yes, it's basically the same thing, which is that it's not only you, it's everybody. There's a village around you in how you
by
raise a
your
child.
don't get offended. Why? I have a weakness. If I see a mother with her fine hair and she cuts her baby girl's hair, I will ask her, Madam, what? You say the girl does not like plaiting hair. I say, look, I give you only 6 months to 1 year. Grow this hair or start cutting your hair. They
Mhm.
know me. No, make your
Mhm.
baby girls build confidence into your children. When you love them and you build confidence into them, they can hold their own anywhere in the world. So I'm
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, ladies, did you? Okay. I was asking them to share questions if they had, and then somebody has one here so far. Someone says, "How did you align your dreams and intentions with your spouse, or did daddy just allow you?" So now you've been sharing with us about all the things that you did with your children or for your children in actually giving them stage by stage what you wanted for them. They're asking, how did you align these intentions and these dreams for your children with your spouse? Or was it just, allowing you to do what you wanted, trusting in your instincts or whatever? Because some women are struggling with that. Like they have such good intention for
Yes,
their children and their husband is like, no, 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 no.
especially when I wanted to go back to school. He didn't want me to go back to school. And I was using my money. But eventually he came to join. So not all the time he will agree with you. But if he doesn't agree with you, don't argue with him. If you tell your husband, I want to do so, he says no, you just start doing it indirectly, he will not be able to. When he now sees the reward, he will come on board. But if you want to hold your own, there cannot be two captains in the ship. You cannot say, no, God forbid. You cannot tell me what to do, to say anything to him. Just start with the little you have. By the time I was finishing, when he went to London, he bought me all the textbooks I need, and I was ahead of my class. If you see how proud he was on my graduation day, that is a man who said, I don't want to marry a graduate. There's no need for you to go back to school. You know what I mean? And I am one of the luckiest women on earth. My husband trusts my instincts to a fault. Do you know how we left Lagos? I did not discuss it. I was just praying. I had left Nestle because I saw that they didn't value my work. And I know I'm business minded. I can make my money outside career. So I left Nestle and I was working. I had this what do you call it? Complete kitchen where we sell bags of rice, carton of chicken, gallons and all that. So along the line,
Mm,
somebody in the background now said I should come and help them with the administration of first hospital. So I was working part time with that one. And I was there
mm,
praying. And this said, move to Benin. Said by me. Me that has been going abroad, going all over. What is my business with Benin? And the Holy
mm,
Spirit said, I said, move to Benin. My husband had gone to Ekoma, was there with her bosom friend, with his bosom friend, and they were doing some business. So that around 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I took my baby and we went to Mile 2. We took a bus to go to Benin. We go to Benin around 5 or 6. And my
mm.
husband said, she came for the weekend. And I said, what is it? I said, I came to tell you that we are going to move to Benin. He said, don't mind how. That's how she take risks. So just take risks with your life. Don't take risks with my children. My dear people of God, that is how we move to Benin. You know, I will not lose my ground. I will spiritually go into it. I will strategically do it. And then when he starts seeing the reward, it will flow with you. A man is the head of the neck. The woman can turn the head without really turning it 360 degrees. Without turning it 90 degrees, then the head will go to the back and there'll be problems.
Yeah,
So
real problem.
We must learn to accommodate and tolerate each other. No one man knows it all.
I love it. And I think the next question is a follow-up from this one. And I think it's a natural follow-up. Someone says, can your husband's support be nurtured? Or how can it be achieved? Because, and it kind of, you already started to answer it, but maybe just elaborate a little bit more. Because some people just feel like, my husband is just difficult, or see, you know how people say something like, oh, men from this part of the world, they're difficult and all of that. So some people just give up and say, those of you that have your husband support, you are lucky. But this question is asking that if you do not presently have your husband's support, is it something that you can nurture? Or is it something that, how can it be achieved? How can we get to this point?
Remember how you made. You should know your husband's weak point. And when you want your husband to do something for you, it is that weak point you pressure. If it is food he likes, you give him food. And if it is he likes outing, you say, honey, I want to take you out. He does not know that you have something you are working towards. Like I said, he has to flow with you. Because if he does not flow with you, when the chips are down, even your family will blame you. So, agreeing, like I told you, he did not agree with me when I wanted to go back to school. Because I felt, why can I not improve on myself? So I went to improve on myself. And if he flew along, by the second, third year, he was the one even carrying the thing on his head more than me. So you must allow him to be the boss. Do not try to show off that you are the one in charge. You know what I mean? You don't show off to the world that you are the one in charge. And then people talk about house chores. This house chores, my husband, because he came from abroad, does not mind doing house chores. But when his people are around, I don't allow him to do house chores for him. You must not enter my kitchen. You must not help me because I cannot pick up, cannot fish out. And even when people are not around and it doesn't feel like, you don't force him. You know what I mean? You just leave, let it flow. It's a woman's duty to do her house chores. But if a man is willing to help, okay. If he's not willing to help, you just create a situation where he will see the gap now. By the time place full sink, you leave it there, you go to bed. The next morning, you refuse to wake up. You'll be pretending as if you're enjoying sleep because it's weekend. He wants to take his teacup, it's dirty. He wants to take his saucer, it's dirty. He will wash now. You have not told him why didn't you wash this. Strategy, my dear. And then when a family that prays together stays together, you must learn family. Even when your husband does not pray with you, you must pray for your husband. Pray for your husband more than you pray for yourself. Because when the head is down, nothing happens to the home. So you must always wish your husband well, no matter the quarrel, no matter what you feel. Wish him well, pray for him, pray for your children. Lastly, pray for yourself.
This is really powerful. I wanted to share something to elaborate on what you were saying, some personal experience. When you talked about, how do you get a man's support? And there was something you were saying that made this come to my mind. We always say that when you want to go for something, maybe the Holy Spirit has shared something with you. You knew that this is the next stage God is telling you to take, and you speak to your husband and he's not saying it. I want to encourage you that when you were called, it was not a conference call. It's you that God told. It is not your job to sell the vision to your spouse so that he sees it clearly and is able to run with it with you. Now, most people are scared. When they say, no, you can't do this, it's because they are scared of the outcome. They're thinking that men are logical creatures, right? And they say women are emotional. Oh, I don't really believe that because everybody has emotions, but let's leave it for now. But the point, why they say we are emotional is because, we hear from God and we run. We don't waste time with calculating the logics. We are just like, okay, so Holy Spirit is here. Is this the way to go now? Yeah, we're going. Just much like the way Mary, the mother of Jesus, said to those guys at the wedding, do whatever he tells you. There's no need to talk too much. This guy, I know him. He will do it. Just follow. Do you see? That's how women are. The men will be calculating the logic of things. Why should I do this? Why should I do that? How is it going to work? So it's not your job to be vexing that he doesn't see what you are saying. Your job is to sell the vision, run with it, and let him catch up and let him feel. So we're not saying you should disrespect your husband. We're not saying you should go around your husband, go above your husband, go on. We're not saying any of that. We're saying that you should sell it in the way that he understands, sell it in the way that he can catch on, pray about it. And God is not an author of confusion. If God has said it to you and the man is not agreeing, you're just going to go back to him and say, Dear Lord, you see, I'm sure you don't want us to quarrel in this house. You talk to your son because I cannot again. I don't know why he's not getting it, but take care of this, okay? And God is an ultimate girl dad. He will take care of it. He will take care of it, right? He will take care of it. So it's just, but the most important thing is to remember to honor your husband in everything. Some of we women, because we feel, oh, we pray, we hear from God, we now start assuming some spiritual superiority. Like, what's wrong with this one? Can you not hear me say that God said I should move? Why are you not, run? There's order in heaven. And the man is the head of the home, and that order needs to be, followed. So it's not your own point time to now jump and say, because I heard from God. I didn't send you that one. No. Let's be clear. There's order in the scheme of things. So you are going to have to use wisdom. You're going to have to use prayer. You're going to have to use patience. You're going to have to use, all of those things to get your husband to where you need him to be. Because at the end of the day, once they start seeing workings, nobody argues with results. Nobody, and by the time you've shown results once, twice, thrice, by the fourth time you're saying God said this, the guy is like, let's go. Because he has seen it. This is my wife, the year will say, she doesn't even play. Do you understand? So it's your job to show work. It's when you do hear from God, it's your job to pursue it diligently so that you can bring results. So the next time you tell your husband that this is where we're going, he will say, this my wife is a results person. I'm going with her. That's how we get our husbands to support us. It's not juju. It's not magic. It's not. In case you have not heard before, I've given you the expo now. Mommy, let's continue. So somebody said, okay, so Junior is sharing something. She says, in addition to this, please watch Bishop Funke Adejumo and Pastor Stephanie's Wolfbeck videos and you will not regret it. Okay, awesome. I'm sure this is in addition to getting your husbands to support you and all of that, you see all of that. So yeah. Okay, are there any more questions for Grandma? Somebody says, oh, I'm grateful to God for joining tonight. And oh my God, everybody's just so happy with you today, Mommy. They're like, oh, this is very good. So thank you so much for coming. So, now I wanted to ask something. You're a grandmother now, right? You've raised your daughters, you've raised your sons, raised your children, and you really believe that you've done well with raising them. So what happens when you go into your daughter's house or your son's house? Let's even use daughter because people are more forgiving about daughter. You go into your daughter's house, right? And she's doing something different. You're like,
A friend
who
said,
raised this one?
my mother and my son's house.
No, I'm
What
just saying. I'm just saying that if we say you go to your son's house to go and correct the wife, now people may be angry. So let's use your daughter because you are free to correct your own daughter if you go to her house. But my own question is, how do you now relate with it? So you go to your daughter's house and you see something that she's doing that's like, this is not how I raised you. Why are you doing this kind of thing with your children? How do you correct your daughter in a way that still honors the fact that she's in her house and she's the owner of our house, the madam of our house, while trying to, do you understand my question?
Yeah. You see, Cynthia, life is very easy for me. She's my first daughter. And she believes so much in me that we never had to argue. If you ask Cynthia, why are you a medical doctor? Say, my mother said I should be medicine. We were that well bonded. And the same thing happened for the children. Cynthia's children were so, I don't know, we were so close that, we don't even need to open mouth to talk. When I look at them, they know what I know. Before I left Lagos, I carried those children to church every day because they are always with me. And when they come, when we go to church, I think the first one was about 6 to 7. Then you will see the children following maths in total. They knew every part of the math because their mother gave me a free hand. You know what I mean? There are some places. The time my last teacher was having a chip, when I now say, this is not how to do, say that's not what Google said. I said, come.
They say don't mention names. They told us, they begged you on the call, say please don't mention names.
She said, that is not what Google said. Oh. I was just looking at this child. You know? So bonding with your grandchildren is a lot easier. You can only go as far as the parents will allow you. And I've been lucky. My daughters allow me to go very far. No, they allow me because when I come, I love cooking. Don't get me wrong, but not the stressful type. And if I'm going to come to your house, make sure you have a nanny because I cannot cook 24/7.
I love it. Thank you so much. There's a question in the chat before we let you go. She says, how about single motherhood? Do you have any words of encouragement for women who are going through single motherhood at the time?
Single motherhood. That is one thing that really bothers me. In our time, even if, no matter what the man does, we don't want to go. But these days, because young women have money, they are intelligent, they have career, they have successful business. Before they call, they are willing to go. For the sake of the children, it is good to stay. But if you've done all you can and you find yourself as a single mother, bond with your children, it's the same thing. You make sure you form a very strong bond with your children. You have more to sacrifice than the woman that has the husband living with her. But it means you have to nurture. You have to nurture as a mother. You have to nurture as a father. You have to be very, 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 very patient. Much more patient than somebody living with her spouse before those children give you names. You are going through a lot.
Because I think it's difficult. It's really difficult because when you know how she's struggling with getting the funds for them to leave, then she gets home and the children are expecting her to be able to play again. I just want to rest. You know, it's really difficult. So I think that, you know, and when you said that people are a lot less patient these days, I hear you, but I also hear that there's a lot that is going on. There's a lot of awareness, I would say, in terms of okay, this is not okay, right? And what we always say to women is this: that once your life is in danger, you just choose life first. Too.
yes,
Choose life first. Choose
yes.
life first, because God will not. God we will not. Marriage will not matter in heaven. He is not. Even Jesus said it that there is no marriage in heaven. So choose life first, right? If your life is in danger, choose life first. Now, since if there's no danger of life, you know, try to work things out. Try as best as you can to work things out. If you need counseling, go for counseling. If you need, you know, intervention, ask for intervention. Just try your best to work things out. And in working things out, always remember that you always have a part to contribute. You know, most times when we are looking at this situation, we're saying, "Hey, it's the one after all I've done, is one." But everybody has a side. You have a part. You have a contributing part, even if it is small. Even if this person's only 70 and only 30, you have a part. If you can fix your part, you know, and trust God for the rest, you will see changes. Help will come. But in the event that you tried all else, you know, and it just didn't work, you're now alone. You're now, you know, raising these children alone. We want to encourage you today to say that God sees you, right? He sees you. He knows your situation and he's aware of it and he loves you still and he's going to send help your way. What you need to do as a single mother is to find male how do you call it, male figures for your children to relate with, either in an uncle, either in you know, some close relation that you can trust, that gives them the father figure that they need, because children need a father and a mother. And if you are single for no fault of yours, or I mean, we can't change that far right now, they still do need a male figure in their life. So find a trusted adult who can be the male figure in their life. Don't expose your children to abuse. Don't expose your children to abuse because you're looking for male figure. If you cannot find trusted one, just leave it for now. God will help you. Let's be clear. Do not expose your children to abuse in the name of looking for looking for a male figure. It must always be a trusted one, right? But in everything, just put your trust in God. Tell him your worries and just put everything at his feet. He will guide you. He will send resources. He will send help your way. He will send everything that you need because God is the God of everybody, both of the married and the unmarried woman, both of the single mother and the one with the husband. He's interested in those children. He's interested in you as his child. So he would always be there to help you. I just wanted to add that. So thank you for that question, whoever asked. I hope that helped you. Somebody says, oh God. Some men are more terrible than their forefathers these days. Oh dear God. They're like, mommy, they're answering you, mommy, as the reason why there's separation. Mommy, your volume is very low. I don't know what's going on. Did you mute yourself? Okay, I can hear you now. I can
You
hear you
see,
now.
man, you see, a 50-year-old man can be controlled by a 15-year-old girl. We have that gift. Eve got us
Mm,
that gift. Do you think Adam did not like that fruit? He liked it. He didn't know how to go about it. By the time Eve collected the fruit, before they gave Adam, he don't collect.
mm,
So you see, we have an edge over our men. You always know how you started. You think of how you started. And there cannot be two captains in a ship. If you have a husband that is always so unruly and always shouting, then you be the quiet one. You know how to catch him now, and you know when to catch him. Don't go that flow with him when he wants to shout and do everything. I know there are some men that are it's impossible, but there is no man that is impossible, particularly when you take it to the Lord in prayer. You will
absolutely.
melt it.
Absolutely.
You will
There's
melt his
something
heart.
that the man said one day.
Sacrifice
He-
more. Such men, be very willing to sacrifice more. Not that he didn't bring money.
yeah.
There will be no food. You know the man not well before. Then he now came, there's no food at home. Use your money to cook so that there will be peace. You know what I mean?
Mm,
You go extra mile when you have such unruly men. There is nobody that does not like a good thing. Only him will turn around and say, this my wife
mm,
said, if you can do to frustrate her. You must make yourself, if there's a word like that, unfrustratable. You know what I mean? Once you agree to marry, you be ready to flow for the sake of the children. Whatever you do, you must consider the wellness and the future of your children. You know, if that man sees that he's doing everything, you are not angry and you are not flowing with him in the negative way, he will come around one day. Maybe not immediately. And he will thank you for it one day. Maybe when you are doing your 20th anniversary or so. We have seen a lot like that.
mm, mm.
Some of
Thank you.
lucky.
I mean, I've heard men say that women know how to get what they want from them. If a woman wants you to buy wig for her, she knows what to say. If a woman wants you to buy, ashwabi for her, she knows how to get it. Do you understand? So he doesn't like it when women say, I'm not able to get my husband to do X, Y, Z. Say it's a lie. And they know what to do to get them to do what they need to do. Women do. Is your husband, you know where to pass. Like mommy has said it. You know where to pass. You know, it's pass. I think mommy had a network issue. She'll be back in a few minutes. But the truth of the matter is, this has been a very enlightening conversation. I'm so super, super, super glad to. I mean, people always say to me that, oh, this and that. And I said, I want to show you the person that raised me so you can understand when you hear me say some kind of things. Like, it was really amazing having her on the call tonight and all of the things that she's been to share with us. Okay, she's back now. You should see her in a few minutes, you know. But there's a lot of work to be done in marriage, a lot of work. It's not a walk in the park. You know how they say that it's the only institution that you get a certificate as you just get in. You're just starting, you already got a certificate. It's a lot of work. It's not to say that you are now relaxed. You should get ready to put in the work. So okay, welcome back, mom. I was saying it that,
Okay.
like you said, marriage is a lot of work. And we need to be ready to put in the work because it's never going to be a walk in the park for anybody. I mean, some people get it easy. But even the ones who it looks easy for on the outside, putting in the work. There is work to be done.
Let me tell you
There is
story.
always work to be done. Yeah. You are going to say something, Mom.
I'm saying that it is not easy for anybody. It is just the
Of
coping
course.
mechanism. It's the
Absolutely.
coping mechanism.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Some people just don't talk because they believe, no, it's not me, not me. The day you got married is the day you threw away your shame. There's nothing to be ashamed about. You just stay there and make the best of it. Stay there and make the best of it, except it's at the risk of your life. If your life is not at risk, please stay and make the best of it. And you'll be, they have an adage in Yoruba that they know they see Papa teacher. It is Mama teacher they see. It is the mother that enjoys more than the men. So when you are struggling, don't think you are wasting your effort. Struggle on. He did not want to show him the father that he will know they brought something. You
It's
know?
Mama Father that they have group for.
Mama
No
father that
Papa
you
Father.
know Papa father.
I love that. That's a very
So
good adage, Joe. But we're not encouraging that kind of behavior here, Sha. We're encouraging that, you and your husband are bonded so that when the children start to be something and become something, as the things are brought to the house, you are encouraged, you are, sharing with your husband because you are together. The children even know that they cannot come between you. That's the kind of bonding that we are recommending. That's the kind of bonding with, in families that we recommend. It's not the one that, children will now come and be saying, it's only my mother that I know. We don't do that here. Your mother and your father, you are one. Children. As we have, that's how to get there is by building the bond now while you guys are still young. Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you so much for coming, mommy. It's been an amazing 1 hour. We've gone over our 1 hour time. I mean, and we would continue over and over. People are so excited. They're not even ready to leave. They are still ready to continue to hear from your wisdom. In rounding up, because we need to let you go back to your husband. In rounding up, do you have any one word you want us to go away with in this conversation about, and because remember that you're talking to younger women, you have been there, done that, 5 children, 11 grandchildren, and counting, and you're thinking, okay, so, and I mean, you're about to clock 50 years in motherhood. Gang, 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 gang. So you're like, by next year, like this, now they'll say you have done 50 years in motherhood. I'm like, hey, God, I beg you. When this is the God when moment for me. But so my question is, what would you say to us? What would you like to leave with us? One word, one sentence, one phrase that you want us always remember when we think about motherhood being maybe, we've had Mother's Day recently, one of the maybe 3 or 4 that we're going to have this year. What do you want us to think about when motherhood looks like such a heavy burden? When it looks like you are alone, when it looks like you are the only one working, the only one shouting, the only one folding up these children, it looks like somebody's just chilling and having a ball, and then you are the one left with the heavy lifting. What would you say to encourage we mothers as we continue on this journey? Because some of us are just like maybe 10 years in the game, some people 3, some people 5, some people 20, but you have done like almost 50. So what can you tell us that will help us to keep trudging on? Because we need encouragement at this point, like this, like this, like this. We need encouragement. Thank you, Mama.
motherhood is a gift. Motherhood needs nurturing. Motherhood needs sacrificing. And motherhood needs commitment. You must pray. You must walk. You must play. You see, praying and walking and not playing, you will not be a happy person. You must have time to let out steam. And you must try to bond with your husband. Because that's the only time those children will give you peace. No, try. No trust, no relationship. Don't let anybody tell you any negative thing about your husband. You remember, Brenda, I told you that anybody that does not like your husband cannot like you. So that's my final word.
Amazing, amazing. That is literally the whole conversation tonight in summary, because we had a long conversation about how you had to, pray, you had to be bonding with your children, you have to learn to play yourself, recharge, refuel, reset. And we also talked about bonding with your husband, because to be honest, all this conversation of my husband will not let me do this, will not let me do that, is because you are not bonded. All this one, my husband does not support me. He does not let me do this with the children. Is you have to start with the husband. A happy marriage helps happy parenting. So, in order to get, by the time you are well bonded, you can have the conversation on your pillow to be pillow talk. This is what we're going to do for these children next. To the guy, like, I don't think we do like this, and we just, okay, no problem. I trust you. Carry on. It's not just it's because there's already rapport. It's because there's already rapport. He's not the one that you come and be saying, hey, you want to talk to your husband today. You are now calculating. You are cleaning house. You are making a goosey soup. You are making because you want to present matter. Why? It should be a natural everyday thing. You should be at this point of you are able to talk to each other every day because you are friends. So even if you have 10 years, 11 years between you, you have chosen to bridge that gap by marrying you. So you are friends. You are partners in this game. Build that bond. Find a way to enter the guy in a way that you're able to play. You're able to, get into the things that you need to do. Because honestly, it's very important. It's very, very, very important. And thank you, ladies, for joining us tonight. I had such an amazing time with my own mother. This is Bridget Imokhai. That is the mother that birthed me. I'm super, super excited. Thank you, ladies, for joining. Thank you for your engagement. Thank you for, asking all the questions and just enjoying my mother with me today. Until I come your way again next week, we have these sessions every Tuesday, 7 p.m. WAT on this channel, right? And till I come your way again next week, it will be goodbye and God bless. This Women's Matters is brought to you by the Women's Growth Academy. It's a community of women who love God, who are trying to grow in their love of God and of one another. And we generally we are on a WhatsApp group. If you want to join us, just click the link in my bio on Instagram and you can join us. And we do different things in the group, but here we come live every Tuesday to share with you how we're doing. And everybody's saying, thank you, Mama. Thank you, Coach. Thank you so much, Grandma. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. They say I was blessed with 2 generations. Amupelola, thank you so much, sis. So thank you all for coming. I had such an amazing time. And thank you for encouraging me and sharing out here. They said, thank you, I enjoyed this. You have a namesake in the chat, Mrs. Bridget Imokhai. She said, I enjoyed this. So, and since I'm grateful for joining me. Thank you all so much. We love you. And we will see you same time next week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Goodbye and happy International Women's Month. Remember to give to gain. Good night. Thank you so much, Mama. Good night.